Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. You're gonna have to forgive me, it's very, very early here. I had a lot to do yesterday, but I wanted to say good morning this morning and welcome you back. And this week's topic is public acceptance. So what I did was I was thinking about this topic all week and did a little bit of experimenting. For those of you who don't know, I have started a new job and I live in a very small community in the hill country of Texas. Forgive the way I look. No, sunshine has not woken up yet. But, okay. Public acceptance of our belief of what we are. I can tell you that although I'm not in the broom closet per se, I'm not very shy about what I am. If I'm asked, I'm outright about it, but I wondered what that really meant, public acceptance. So instead of going to my family, who is very accepting of my belief, my practice, what I do, what I am, what I've been for many years, and some of it has to do with just me, and some of it has to do with my my background and my heritage and my family. They're very accepting. So I wouldn't really say that I'm in the broom closet, but I wouldn't say that I am a door-knocking witch. You know, like the, what do they call those? Jehovah's Witness, I believe it is. They actually go door knocking. They send people like out to your doors to preach to you. So I wouldn't say I'm that flamboyant, but so what I decided to do was do a little bit of an experiment, you know, when it comes to my community and outside my, I guess, my comfort zone. I guess that's what you would call it. So to start with, one of the things that I did was the estate place where I got Charlie from. I started there, and I actually went back there and was looking around, and I decided, okay, you know what, I'm looking for some specific things and I'm just not seeing it, and I need a little bit of help. So I went to the guy who sold me Charlie, who owns the estate place, and he asked me, can I help you? And I flat out asked him, I said, yes, do you have anything that would be considered, I don't know, metaphysical or pagan-like? And he kind of gave me that look like, you know, that initial look that we all get, like we just grew horns, you know? And then he stopped and he says, well, I don't know, maybe this? And he took me over to his case where back in the back, tucked away, and I walked by his case several times and didn't even see this. He had, from Barnes & Noble, I guess a few years ago, they did they call it a crystal ball, but it's a glass ball. And I was shocked. I was like, yes, things like that. And he actually started asking me questions, like he was curious, like he was interested. And I explained to him that, you know, there's you should put stuff like this out because there's probably more of us around than what you think. And he also found me. He says, "Oh, and I also have this." He almost got excited. I was so tickled. He says, "Oh, I also have this," and he pulled out this book that was, I can't remember the title, and I did not buy it. I wanted to, but I actually had him set it back for me. I just wasn't ready to buy that book yet. And I can't remember the title, but the fact is, I was open with him, and he actually became interested and excited, and didn't seem so fearful of me once I was able to explain to him a little bit about what paganism or witchcraft really is. So that was my first experience. Then, actually yesterday, I was at work, and I have just recently started this position. I've been there for about a month and a half now. And there is a very diverse group of people here, diverse ages, men, women, just it's a very good mix of people, you know, cultures and from what I'm seeing. Now, I've only been there for a month and a half, so this may change, you know, here in about, I don't know, a week. Who knows? But what I did was I asked, we're kind of set up in like cubicle-like type thing. We have like cubes. And I decided I was going to ask the person closest to me, because I still haven't really decorated my cubicle or anything. I do have a little bit of a crystal grid set up, but that's about it. So I decided, okay, you know what, I'm just going to come right out and I'm going to ask one of my coworkers some questions. And of course, we're a little busy, so I wrote some questions down on paper, and I asked him if he would be willing to answer a couple of questions. But I told him that that it was for a group that I was in, and that we were doing some research, because I didn't want to come right out, you know, and say, "Boo, I'm a witch," and, you know, have one of my closest coworkers right off the bat thinking oddly of me. And I thought about this before I did it. I really did. And it's true that we still have to be somewhat guarded, because we don't want to be misjudged. I don't care about people who judge me. I really don't. I mean, if you feel it necessary to judge me, then you're not even worth my time. But I don't want to be misjudged. I don't want to be thought to be something, or be stereotyped about something that I'm not. So I actually thought about this before I asked him anything, and I was a little guarded, which is to be understand, you know. But he was like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever, just, you know." Ugh, I'm sorry. My camera decided to stop. Okay, so I was saying that I asked him the questions, and I'm going to read them to you. So, first of all, I put on here, please do not answer any uncomfortable questions, obviously. I put on here, what religion are you? He said Catholic, which surprised me. I said, are you devout in your beliefs? He said no. Okay, so that's actually pretty common here. I said, are you acceptable of other religions? He said yes. Cool. Now, I drew 3 symbols, and I asked him what each symbol represented to him. The first symbol, of course, was the cross. The second symbol was the pentagram. And the third symbol was the Nazi swastika. So he wrote for the for the cross, he wrote, it represented Christian beliefs. Makes sense. For the pentagram, I actually thought this was very interesting. And just proves how open-minded some people can be. This is what he wrote. The pentagram represents to me Rush 2012, the album or CD. Not evil or devil worshiper or pagan or witchcraft or, any of those negative things that you would normally think that somebody who is not pagan is thinking that your pentagram that you're wearing represents. And then, of course, the swastika he put on there, Nazis, also Nazi Hitler. So, let's see. I put on here, do you believe in ghosts or spirits? He says, no, not until I experience for myself. I said, would you consider yourself a nature lover? He said, yes. I asked him, what does the word pagan mean to you? He said, ancient people living in their time. Now, I'm not really sure what he meant about that because I wasn't like, can you clarify, please? So, then I asked him, what is a witch or a bruja? Someone who believes they have some type of spiritual powers. I found that very interesting. Very interesting. Now keep in mind, he does not know my beliefs or my path or anything like that, okay? We just really met and started talking maybe 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And then the last question that I asked him, oh no, there was one more. I said, 2 more. If you knew a pagan worked with you, how would you behave around that person? He says, I believe in a diverse world. That's all he put. I don't know what that means. So then I put, do you think pagans should display religious icons such as pentagrams, much like Christians wear crosses? He says, yes, in the USA, that's okay for me. So, that was, I didn't want to go overboard. So that was the basic questions that I asked him. And I'd have to say those 2 experiences alone have really opened my eyes and made me see that perhaps my community is coming out of the backwooded burn the witch beliefs, and that maybe we're moving into an era and a time when it's just too much energy wasted on beating up the people who don't believe in what is thought to be the majority way. And that's great. That is really awesome. So I'll admit I'm still not going to be a very flamboyant witch. I will still wear my pentagram necklace. But there are times when I do have it under my clothes when I just don't want to have to deal with the looks or the questions. There are times when I embrace the questions. But I think overall, my community is showing me that they are pretty accepting, pretty open to the idea that perhaps there are pagans in the community, that there are witches out here, and that we're not evil, and that maybe they don't want to jump in my backyard and join me in a ritual under the Blessed Mother Moon, but they're not shying away from me. They're not running once they know a little bit about what's going on. So I would have to say My community is pretty cool. I'm pretty lucky. I'm a very blessed witch in my spiritual path, my family, my friends, and now I find out my community. So this has been your morning with sunshine. Y'all do forgive the way I look. Like I said, it is very early. No makeup, no hair done, coffee. Big coffee. You see this big coffee cup? And I'll put away like 2 or 3 of these. So I hope y'all have an awesome day. I hope it's filled with magic. Have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any comments, leave them down below. I will definitely try to answer all that I can. And don't forget to skip over to my channel, Sunshine Morning Ray. And check me out over there. And good morning, Gabby. So y'all take care. Blessed be. Mwah. Love y'all. Bye-bye.